Welcome back to another Unmasked, Unchained Wednesday night campaign Aftershow, where we talk about all of the stuff that happened in the session we just got out of. Tonight's session ended up being a little more than I think what they thought that they were going to get themselves into, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You guys good?
That was a lot of fun, though.
I like the fish.
Yeah, the fish was pretty cool.
That was fun. Although the whole time I'm thinking, Temper is not smart enough for this.
Oh, dude, Philly definitely wasn't smart enough.
Yeah, well, given your lack of intelligence-based character in the moment, we're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. But you guys did really good. You did really good on that. You actually solved it faster than I had thought. You hit the puffer fish and the fireball on the first try.
Yeah, that helped. So, Katie, that was your idea, right? I don't know how you came up with that, but
puffer fish are poisonous.
Yeah, that's right. That logic was there. Yeah.
Fireball is messy. That's really it. that's the whole logic.
Really? I think we only got one wrong, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just the guppies.
Killed a few guppies, you know. Look, guppies, they don't live. If you've ever had guppies, you know. You've probably only had them for a week.
Yeah. I think the catfish made sense. The pufferfish made clear sense. The other ones were hard to really think about.
Yeah, the salmon and the ginger ale, I think, was the one that was stumpy, right? Because you were thinking guppies and ginger ale, children's drink. Trout and lemonade was a really, really good pairing.
Yeah.
Fish and lemon, but they were all fish, so that did make sense. But trout and lemon went really good. But the salmon and ginger thing.
So salmon, because sushi, and then ginger, because it's on the side.
Oh, I like that. It just occurred to me we should have run back. We got the combination for the drawer. We should have run back there before we confronted Al.
Oh, true.
Yeah, we can actually unlock the doors now.
Yeah, I wonder what's in that.
Something good.
Maybe.
Empty. There's a single string, and when you pull the string, it's an embarrassing photo of Christopher at a party.
Where Christopher's dad. My theory is Christopher's desk was Christopher's. The silver desk was Christopher's mom. The gold was Christopher's dad.
Something worth protecting.
Yeah, that's a very good thought process. Once you guys maybe get into the journal that you found, you probably find out a little bit more. The puzzle was really good. That puzzle is named Fish and Sips. You're welcome.
Nice.
That was a fun one.
I'm thoroughly impressed that you guys figured out. I'm thoroughly impressed you guys figured out the fish puzzle before you figured out the song.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I still don't really understand the song.
We're not smart. We aren't smart. You can look at the sheets.
Katie doesn't understand the song. I don't have a -1 to my intelligence. I just have a hard time.
Oh my god.
I get distracted.
Can I talk about the hint that was in the song holes, or do you want me to wait? Because it's not the most relevant now.
Yeah, no, let's wait. I'm going to wait on that a little bit.
I'm going to have to sing it again. We're just going to sing it to every NPC.
I will say, the last session, because I missed the after show because something personal came up, Huli and I were DMing in Discord as you guys were all singing, and we're both just like, what the fuck? What is happening?
I always have Philly make these suggestions, and when you guys, I'm expecting y'all to turn them down, and when you guys said yeah, I was like, oh no, oh no.
Huli and I are fucking rolling.
Obviously that's not the answer, but it was hilarious.
I spent the entire session today rolling as well. It was it was pretty entertaining. You guys, I love the stealth thing.
Mic.
Oh, of course you did. We're sitting right next to each other. There's no avoiding my big
The stealth thing was very funny.
It was great. Temper's like, hi, or hello, I am stealthing. I'm like, no, you're not, duders.
I mean, that is,
Jason,
I
bro.
think that's
Jason. You got to make a character that's better at stealth.
You're stealth
You're
this
2
week.
for 2. 0 for 2. We're 0 for 2.
He gets, yeah. And look, and I lean into it. When I fail, I fail.
Mm-hmm.
He's got disadvantage on stealth. First roll was a 3, which made it a 2. So, but then I had disadvantage. I thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if I got a worse roll on the disadvantage and I fumbled on the disadvantage? So to me, that was just perfect. Turns out nobody was in there, so it didn't matter. So that was a good time to do it. But yeah. I am big, but I am not fast.
No, and not stealthy. And that's okay. Like you were in a situation where stealth really wasn't too needed. You didn't know that at first, but it ended up being it worked out really well in your favor. It was super great. You investigating, though. I appreciate that. You did take some good time rifling. That's what we said. We're rifling.
A quick rifling through his drawers.
Quick rifling. But you did good on that. You found some interesting stuff. Obviously, like you figured out you don't read that language, but it's okay. The fish and sips happened, and then you got into Heisenberg's lab to find his and Pinkman's experiments. I'm super glad that Merrick punched that mug out of your hand, Philly, so you didn't drink the mercury.
Me too. Every time Philly does something stupid, you guys are like, yeah.
I don't know. It just sounded fishy to me, like a silver liquid. I was like,
Fishy in the goblet? I don't know.
I'm going to slowly bring this to my lips.
no.
So, Holy, do you want to talk about the callback that was?
Oh, the fire gilding?
Yeah.
That was pretty perfectly placed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great.
I wanted to wait until Rob got back to talk about fire gilding because I really needed his monologue because he really embraces that character very well. So I want to give him that. But yes, I do want to talk to I want to hit the callback on it.
Yep.
I do.
It's like an Easter egg callback. Yeah. There he is.
Is he there? There he is. Rob, we were just talking about you. We were just talking about hitting the callback to the fire gilding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because I think you really nailed it on the head when you said when you mentioned it. So that insanity conversation goes back to a Sunday night campaign, probably about a year ago now. We were in my character's place. It was Jason's campaign, right? So Jason's DMing, doing DM things, rolling with the punches as we are ignorant as a party. And so we go to my place of living. I take my party members. Rob didn't get to be there for that day, but he did get to deal with the aftermath. And we go, and one of our party members is a smith in the real world and is like the world's most useless facts databank. And so we get into this underground place. We get into this underground world or whatever, and we get into my parents' lab, and he's a crafter.
The Kindermoot.
Kindermoot.
And well, Jason, you had just watched that whatever podcast it was.
Yeah, I'd listened to the Shit Town podcast.
Yeah.
So he starts hitting me with stuff, and I basically just channel the guy from, and this is like one of the world renowned gilded clock makers. So, yeah, go continue.
So this player and I's character have a very interesting discussion about the thing that I grew up doing, that my father figure had been doing. He was fire gilding, and there's mercury involved in fire gilding, and it makes you go cuckoo magoo, right? So it was like just a callback to that. Whenever you guys were asking, like, is this what drove Christopher Robin crazy? I had to give you that little taste of love. Yeah, I guess maybe you had to be there to get it. It's funnier to me, I think, than it is to try to. It's the joke's not funny if you have to explain the joke.
Well, no, I think it was well executed though. So it was a callback, and if you were there, and it looks like we have one person who was there.
Yeah.
So
It was seamless.
it was great. So it was both an Easter egg and a callback. It wasn't too obvious. It fit. But now it's good to explain it.
Can we talk about my emotions real quick?
Yes.
All right. When Rue started getting really upset and crying, it took me back to like my daughter, who is now 16. It took me back to like her, like being like, nobody likes me at school or something like that, you know? Oh, emotions.
Yeah, too much.
No, it was good.
It was great.
The lengths I go to hyperventilate for you, group.
I know.
Like,
So
ooh.
I'm really big on like subliminals and hiddens and things like that, right? And addiction is something that's been very rampant in this whole place. And addiction is something in the real world, obviously, that a lot of people struggle with. I personally had my own struggles. I'm a recovering addict myself, so it's a very heavy topic, but it's good to see how you navigate going through this in a fantasy setting as well, right? And I really like the way that you guys started handling it. Instead of like, oh, these people are all addicts and they're all crazy, your first instinct is, wait, this can fix this. Maybe we should fix these people. And it brings to life, like, there's an inner person under every addict. Like, there's somebody else in there. And Rue shedding that sort of tough, outer, addicted mentality into this softer, sweeter, who they are at their core person really brings and delivers that message that under the addict is the person, and you are not defined by your addiction, right? So it's just like this deeper, heavier sort of message that I just really want people to understand in a setting that brought it in a different viewpoint, right? So if we didn't have the after show, that wouldn't have been something that would have been explained, but hopefully people would have understood where we were going with that anyway. But it was deep, and it was meant to be deep, and you guys handled it really well. There was a lot of emotion. I had to choke my own feelings coming through there, right?
Yeah.
But that is part of why I love D&D, because we have the fun, the funny, the happy, all of that a lot of times, but every once in a while there is a moment that's a little darker, deeper, sadder, angrier, but it's
like the whole entire time, like all I want to do is goof around, and then Rue starts like crying, like visceral emotion, and that's amazing, and that you can capture that with people sitting all across the country.
Yeah, it was really good. It came out really well, and you guys did a lot of good work leading into that. You really spent the time like investigating and figuring out the cure and reading through the notes and stuff like that. And you chose to use the thing that you had in your hand to do good instead of using the thing in your hand to do bad. And that is really what I, as a DM, had hoped to see you do decision-making wise. So good on you.
I think tomorrow's problem would have handled that exactly the same way.
I absolutely. don't think so.
What's
I haven't-
tomorrow's problem?
It's a big problem.
The collective sigh.
That's Tuesday nights.
Yeah,
That's the name of
it's
the party for Tuesday nights.
Or Wednesday if Hooli forgets days of the week.
I know.
fuck off. That happened one time.
It happened twice on the same day.
We,
Yeah.
As soon as we got our party portrait commission back, we found ourselves in a TPK situation. So
Oh no.
Oh,
Yes,
I
they're
have
currently they're currently making sure that they have a character prepared for next session because they have
Oh,
found
no.
themselves in a predicament of a very, very blatantly possible TPK, and they had the opportunity. 5 of the 6 of them were walking away with an ally in their pocket, and a decision of chaos was made, and now they
decision of
suffered.
chaos.
Yep,
Yeah.
the chaos was embraced, and the chaos will be met with more chaos. So,
You know what? Before I forget the thought, now this week was, I think, a little bit different than other weeks because we had less of the amazing third party Rue, the second or third NPC, and we still were able to continue a pretty good dialogue, I think, through the entire deal.
yeah, you guys, you did really well, and I think a lot of Christopher's sound system thing that we were having going on, keeping him from communicating as much, I think we've pretty much got that figured out now. So he was able to tap into being a part of the party a little bit better this week too. So that worked out. But you guys did really good. You communicated. You communicated really well, which I'll say as a DM, the reason we brought you somebody else to have in your party with bringing Bob as an NPC was to give you an aid in communication, because it felt like you guys were dragging through that a little bit, and you kind of picked up on it as you've adventured through the 100 and worked
honestly, with Bob. Hooli, when I had my friggin' when I was like, my mic was like screaming, I did not want to talk because I was, like every time I unmuted, it was like
insane,
eye gouging.
Yeah.
Well, you've gotten it fixed, and you guys are like, you're communicating more now. Like you're really fitting yourselves into your party now, right? Like we've been at this. This is what, week 11. The first few weeks were really meant to just put you into the campaign preamble, yada yada. But you're in your first actual sort of adventure setting in the campaign outside of what you know is your safe space. So it took you some time to get on your feet and to get them wet and to get your boots dried off afterwards, right? But you're getting there and you're making strides and you're doing really well. And I think you latched on to a lot of really good concepts in character today that I was like, oh my God, they finally had a light bulb. It was just like this sense in me, like, oh my God, yes, they did it. I was so proud of you guys.
They're paying
I was like,
attention.
heck yes, like they did it. Like it was a proud DM moment for my party to see that they were doing awesome. Because
how
so
can you
often-
not? Look, man, I tell you what, like when I get on here, like I am paying attention the entire time because it's very engaging. Like the entire thing is like, you guys are hitting us with these like killer videos, these NPCs that are coming in, like Rue and like all the other characters that are coming in, Piglet, and so it's like, for me, it's more entertaining than like watching a show that's been produced for several $1 million because it's just more, I don't know, man. It's like, really cool. Whatever you guys are doing, keep it up.
The best Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventure you ever read.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best version of what we can do, right? But shout out to Hooli for just advancing the whole forum. I say this all the time, but I think there's a lot of innovation happening, and it might be happening other places, but from what I've seen, in the high production value ones, there's so much money, and they have some built-in advantages. But like the things that's going on with these campaigns is really pretty special, with virtually no budget. So being really creative. We've got a ton of talented people, talented artists doing videos. You know,
Yeah, those videos are
voices.
so good, man.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
said such
God.
a good vibe. Like that Christopher Robin one, honestly, I feel uncomfortable. And I absolutely love horror. But something about that lady walking down the street upsets me in my
I'm
soul.
sorry. I
was
worked
so
really hard on that.
deeply-
That one-
I was so deeply in the Rue headspace. I was just like, yes, yeah, that's my best friend. It's my best fucking friend. Oh, okay. We're a method
I
actor.
really appreciate that compliment, Rob, because you're somebody that's been playing D&D for a really long time, right?
Yeah.
Longer than I could have imagined to be at this point, right?
Yeah, I played Dungeons and Dragons in second grade at a Catholic Catholic school with a nun was our teacher.
Wow.
And she thought it was the coolest thing, man. You know, I was the dungeon master, and this one of the little kids was like, she wanted to be a unicorn. And I was like, of course you can be a unicorn.
Yep. There you go. That's the you've just summarized the game.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
But it was she was like the nice, if you wanted to go to the bathroom, like she would just let you go, you know?
Bar is low.
Yeah.
It's just like, right, but like think about it, right? It's like being the rookie drummer in the band and you're like coming in to replace the man that's retiring, and the man that's retiring like watches you play some shows and he's just like, dude, bro, like you actually have some talent. I'm okay with handing you my drumsticks and walking away from my band. Like that's how it feels getting compliments from people who have been DMing since original Dungeons and Dragons, 2E, yada yada yada. Like when the older DMs tell us new generation DMs like, hey bro, you're doing some shit, it feels like it's like a pat on the back. So I appreciate that.
So basically, to summarize what Holy just said is, get out of the way, old man. I got this.
No, that's not what I said.
I heard that.
That's exactly what I heard.
I just
I
heard,
heard that.
step aside.
No.
Verbatim.
Step aside, geezers.
No, it's hey, let me participate. Just don't throw me to the side. Don't throw the old withered man over to the side. Let him.
I would
play.
never toss Handuk. I will protect Handuk with my life. Yeah.
Nah, it's cool. I mean, it's I'm so glad I got to play with Jason, like, and he invited me, and I was like, oh man, I'm kind of a Luddite, I'm not like really a big computer guy or anything. So it's like,
You said I'm kind of a Ludo.
Like I'd never been on like, any text like chats and shit online. I never reach out to people like socially online. So it's really cool to like do this. So, and especially during the pandemic, because it was like, it was
What
even
else is there?
better. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't. It really was hard to play in-person D&D during the pandemic, and that's when like online D&D really boomed again, or like where it really boomed, not again, but just in general. And it's cool. Like I think it's really cool. Like in the community, I'm actively involved in the TTRPG space community every day. Right, I'm constantly meeting new people, people that have been in the community as long as you have, and some of them who are brand new, just like me, just trying to find our way. Right, like. I've only been DMing since I think 2020. 2 years is all I've been technically actually DMing. I didn't learn how to play D&D until 2019. So like I'm very, very fresh in the game. So it's like a lot of learning is coming from meeting people, different walks of life, different cultures, different experiences.
Republicans.
Libertarians, all the different political aspects of life. Yeah, Republicans. Shut up, Rob. Damn it.
I'm not I only.
I know.
Don't tell anybody.
I also think we should we should really hear what Hooley's saying. So a lot of people are maybe
I can't believe
intimidated
it.
by the tools or the technology or the rules of the game or the or just the acting part. Everybody's got anxiety at first about certain aspects, and Holy will tell you she's got anxiety playing around a table in this game, and it's easier online. And Rob, I think you're on the more of the opposite.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to start DMing this campaign where I got little ships and shit on the board on the hexagon map with wind, direction, and shit. And it's I bet you it gets used once or twice.
Yeah,
I'm highly invested in your pirate, and I need to know everything about him.
Oh, Andreas?
No, the other pirate. What is his name? Enos or something?
You have more than one pirate?
Enos.
No, the NPC pirate. Hold on, I'll pull up the conversation. Let me find it here.
What time of night was the conversation?
About that time.
Whenever I'm reminded of something, I have to think
I got a pirate here, surely.
Let me read back through what I said. I stick to it, but let me refresh.
You're doing a pirate campaign?
Oh, it's Sileg. It's Sileg, the cranky old pirate Sileg.
Yes.
He never keeps a crew for long because his personality is so bad the crew escapes ASAP. That's the pirate I'm invested in, Sileg. That's the one.
Okay. Philly and Rue and Chris, look, they're not frenemies, they're just enemies. And that is my good friend Giles, who is Hooley's enemy. And they just basically, it's like, it's oil and water. They just can't get along. And it's just how it is. And so, like,
well, Hooley just won't listen
she won't
to
submit.
why she's wrong. Yeah, she just won't listen to why.
I will never actually admit.
If you would just stop and listen, he'd explain it to you.
If I would just quit throwing my overly feminist energy at him and man-hating, I would completely understand where he was coming from. Yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, I like, but this character, my buddy Giles, he has a series of characters that have like basically poisoned parties and turned them like evil or like charm. Like within the party, he's like literally like casting charm spells on you.
Yeah.
Like imagine Ollie casting a charm spell on Philly and be like, "You're gonna do what I want you to do." Can you imagine?
Very fun.
Can you imagine 30 years of recurring characters that they always have a different name and maybe even a different class, but always find their way back to doing some version of that?
So I'm going to make a pirate captain who is out there, and it's going to basically be a collection of Giles's old characters who are like just as nasty as Giles. And they're going to be looking for these guys. You know, it's going to be like their prime enemy. And it'll be Sileg, which is Giles backwards. Sileg is the nasty, grumpy captain. And then there's fucking, what's his other name? Agidios? Yeah.
Something like that.
So his other guy is Agidios backwards, which is like Soydaga. So Soydaga will be like the rough houser, you know. Anyway, they're going to try to get him. And it's going to be hilarious to see if he can realize that these are his old characters.
Yeah.
What's funny is you sent me one, you texted me like 8 words, and I didn't need any more explanation. I was like, yeah, great idea.
I always had the idea of like having two different, almost maybe diametrically opposed parties in the same world at the same time, and then having like a grand melee, you know, at the end of it.
So, I mean, I tried that.
Yeah.
If you remember.
I was just going to say, we tried that.
We tried that. that was attempted. That didn't work. For
various reasons.
For a very related reason. But yeah, we actually tried that. So last summer, just for the viewers at home, we had major party issues. Very just different styles, different sensibilities, different philosophies. So I had always wanted to do exactly what Rob is saying. So I reached out to both sides and I said, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to solve this issue, because we had people that were just flat out ready to quit. And I didn't want that. So I created a second night, same world, same timeline. And we added new players to both parties, one on Sunday, one on Monday. It was a lot more work. It was a ton more work. And I think that Monday we may have made seven sessions out of that Monday party. It just didn't work. So
up in smoke.
It
They
is the goal.
TPK'd. They TPK'd right away.
You had
With in the first session of that, your Monday party TPK'd, and then you had to restock the whole group.
The two know-it-alls, all they had to do is remember the name of the literal dragons that they had met.
Colo and fucking Shaba. All they had to remember was Colo and Shaba.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was screaming in the audience that day, watching. I'm like, oh my god, we just saw these guys, Colo and fucking Shab. It's the two young copper dragons. Could have saved you. And the audience really kicked their ass that day because they smashed them 2 back-to-back random encounters. That is 5,000 channel points apiece. They cashed in 10,000 channel points because that group of players was pissing them off so bad that they were like, get fucked.
Damn, so you can cause people to get like random encounters.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Just like those inspirations tonight.
It's like negative inspiration. I like it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm in the process of still putting together some more, but we do have in our channel point system, for anybody that didn't know, you can cash in your channel points from watching as a viewer for things like give a character inspiration. Give a character a healing potion, which equates out to a level equivalent healing potion. So, regular, superior, whatever, depending on where you're at. And then they can also give you a random encounter, which is actually 5,500 points. I lied. So it's a little bit more. So they cashed in 11,000 points to TPK that group.
And I think I like it also because it takes a little bit of pressure off of the DM. The DM can become a referee with parties like that. And you now are forced to, everybody's campaigning for the DM to side with them when they can't figure it out on their own. To have that Greek chorus that's watching and giving feedback, it's so helpful as a DM, first of all. But then that they actually have the power to just throw encounters up. That takes a lot of the pressure off of a DM. And you say, all right, this is a third party from the outside that's looking at what's happening and they're assessing it.
I mean, when I think about it, I want to turn them into gods. That's the first thing I'm thinking is maybe
it's like Clash of the Titans, Hera, and
maybe you're only going to get your spells recharged if your gods are on the channel, juicing you up.
See,
my own god.
Which night are you taking, Rob?
What's that?
We can now DM a night.
Oh no, I don't know. The online thing, I don't know if I could work it.
Dude, listen, I could literally don't tell me the online stuff because I spent my entire childhood walking my hearing impaired grandmother through hearing impaired technology. So I'm really good at teaching old people how to do stuff. Don't play that. I got you.
Oh my god! I'm just gonna.
Or you can just go in.
I can. Hold on. I'm reaching. Hold on a sec. You're calling me an old person that needs assistance? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm reaching for my cyanide capsule.
No, I'm saying don't say that.
TV, it'll be fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
I shouldn't be a Luddite and reject technology.
What's
your
the Facebook,
BFF is
tablet?
Oh, I have no idea. The one for old people.
Yeah.
A Facebook tablet.
There's some sort of tablet
I have an
that
elder
only has
tablet.
Facebook on it.
No, I have no idea.
It has the big letters on it.
The one with the big letters.
It's in 96 font, everything.
No. But for real, it's online DMing. All jokes aside, online DMing is only as complicated as you make it, right? So if you walk into it in the mindset of this shit is overly complicated, I can't do it, that's exactly where you're going to sit. That's exactly how it's going to roll, and that's the way it's going to be, and you're going to give up and you're going to get pissed. But if you walk into it and say, this is out of my realm, but I am going to take this and learn from it, then you're going to do exactly that, and you're going to walk into it. Jason taught me everything that I know about online DMing. I had never done this before. I had never streamed online, none of that.
It's so smooth. Like, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like a TV production, because it's like the NPCs come in just at the right time, and like the video rolls just at the right time.
Yeah, it's the same as like when you're campaign prepping it around a table, right? Behind your DM's blind, you have your minis or whatever set up, or on your map that you have on the table, you already have parts covered, and you just reveal a certain thing at a certain time. Or if you have your speaker on the table, you push play on your cassette player at the same time. Like, whatever you're doing, it's the same concept of putting those things onto the playing field from behind the digital DM's blind. So I'm just throwing something onto the battlefield the same way that I would if we were playing in person. You have your whiteboard, I have my digital map.
If I ever did it, I think I'd try it like to do like a one shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like get the feel for it, and then go from there.
Yeah, you could do it. Like, you could start start small. It's not something, you don't have to jump head first into a brand new project. Nobody puts the rookie cop on the biggest detective job in the precinct right now.
Because I got some wild ideas, man. Whoa.
Yeah. And think about it. Like, you have the Alex, the Thursday night. I don't think there's a lot of production value there. It's pretty much just folks jumping on here, going live. Yeah. So there's all kinds of there's all kinds of levels of production value and pre-prep with the AV stuff, the videos and the music and the guests. There's a whole spectrum of how much you can do or not do. So
yeah. And none of the DMs on our channel are held to any sort of production value obligations other than show up at the time that you say you're going to show up and run your sessions every week or whenever you say you're going to do it. That's it.
Well, that's one of the big things I hold to be a commitment to everybody, like Philly, everybody, Temper, Chris, is like, if I say I'm going to be there, I'm basically going to be there. And it'll be, unless it's something going on that's extremely important, I'm not going to miss a session just because I understand the commitment that you make and everybody makes. So, yeah, I think, man, I tell you, attendance is almost one of the highest attributes of a
it's a big one. It's a big one. It is a huge one. And especially for the DM, because there is math. I think a DM works hard to not make it look like math. But when you're building encounters, Rob, you know this. You need to know your party. You need to know what they can do, what they can't handle, and you want to build that encounter to be as challenging as possible with still the chance of
like what happens when your cleric just stops showing up?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, we had a pretty good dynamic before the cleric stopped showing up.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys showing up. And on that note, peace.
I like how you just made that fantastic exit.
Exit stage left.
Yeah. He said, la, 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 la. He was gone. Yeah. No, aside from that DMing stuff, guys, like you're doing really good in the campaign. You're doing great. You're putting more out into the sessions, I think, than what originally I had seen, and I like that. And that is really all I have for the evening. If everybody doesn't have anything else, I just want to touch on Trevor Project.
Yep.
All right. So, Heroes and Hooligans, in collaboration with several of our friends in the TTRPG space are coming together for a project we are calling Rolling for Charity. At this time, we are benefiting the Trevor Project. We had a start goal of $500, and before even launching our campaign, which we officially launched on the 1st, we were over half. And at this point today, on the 4th, 4 days officially into the campaign, we are just shy of our $500 goal. So we are really working hard on this to come together as a community to raise funds for something that we thoroughly believe in. If you do not know what the Trevor Project is, or you're not familiar with it, the Trevor Project is an organization that funds suicide prevention and counseling projects for trans and non-binary youth children and the rest of the kids in our community. Given current legislature across the country and a lot of the crazy things that are happening right now, this is our way of helping the best that we can. And it's something we're really all rallying behind together. In this project that we're doing in efforts to continue to raise funds until the end of June, June 30th is the day that we close our fundraising campaign for this project at this go round. We have 2 one-shot games, June 11th and June 18th. On the 11th, I will be DMing at 2 p.m. Central Time. And on the 18th, Jason will be DMing at 2 p.m. Central Time. And we will be running an extended play long one-shot game. I'm going to let Jason talk about the games a little bit. Jason?
Yeah, so we're super excited about it. We're so close to the goal, and we have another charity that I think we're really excited to do it this again with as soon as we make that goal. So share this with your friends. Let's push us over that goal. But for these one shots, we are going to do, we're really going to make this about the players. We want to make this a special experience for the players. I think as we just talked for a half hour or so about sort of the production value that we put in with an audience in mind and how much the audience engagement matters to us. For these one shots, we really want to make it special for the people that have supported us and they have donated and they've really put their money where their mouth is. We want to craft something that is more extended adventure. It's not going to be a quick 90-minute, 2-hour sort of audience-based show. It's going to be deep. It is going to be extended. It's going to have a full arc, full story arc for that party. It's going to be tailored to exactly what that party is looking for. So I'm going to spend a lot of time really with the party, asking them about the style of play, the setting that they want, and really just tailoring things they'll get to pick their level. You know, I don't, it's not a campaign. It's a one shot. We can start at any level they want. If they want to be level 20 and fight a Tarask, we will make it happen. Like, you know, whatever that party really wants. If they want to do God tier stuff, great. If they want to fight, if they want to be a party of kobolds and go up against the Goblin King, we'll do that too. We're going to tailor it. We're going to make it special. I'm going to put a lot of work into it. I haven't DM'd in 5 months. So I am re-energized to really put a special thing together. It could be 4 hours. It could be probably going to be more like 6 hours. But it's going to go as long as the party needs it to really create that arc. If you have a really satisfying end to that adventure, it's going to be a true adventure. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to do it. It's a great cause. Let's get us over the goal. And yeah, super excited.
Yep. So if you would like to look a little bit more into the Trevor Project, share our fundraising link, or even donate yourselves, I'm going to go ahead and drop this link into chat for everybody. It'll post both on our YouTube and Twitch, where we are live right now. You can also find this link on our social medias. We're very active on Twitter in the Twitter community. You're finding this from us and our team and other people that are involved in the project with us in the community. We do have some special guests coming in for this too, so it's really going to be a fun, exciting adventure, and it's going to be a great way to bring awareness to great causes and to really just as a community come together and get our hands out there where we couldn't really help if we weren't doing this, right? There's strength in numbers. And on that note, guys, that's all we have for the night. Thank you for joining us here at Heroes and Hooligans. We appreciate every single one of you, and we'll catch everybody back here next week for another episode of Once Upon a Key.